The modern woman, a dangerous creature indeed. And that's why we're gonna take a look at a subhuman subspecies known as Instagrammus thatianus, a species that can be identified by its lack of clothing, fake hair and makeup, BBLs, breast implants, and just overall unnatural look to everything on their body. A wild animal that'll do anything that it can to get anything that it wants. And that includes, but is not limited to, destroying the lives of children to get back at their ex-boyfriends. So let's embark on this journey to the dookie-filled depths of society's septic tank and watch as this walking ad for staying single exposes herself as a f***ing c***.
What's the worst you ever done to a man?
Oh my God, I've done so much things.
Evil. What's that?
Evil. The worst thing, it depends on your perspective if you think this is like the worst one, but to me it was really bad because I was like, I felt so bad about it. I called like child services on this one. I called child services on my ex because he pissed me off, and then I was like, yeah, I'm done with this person, whatever, like, you know, cheater, fucking piece of shit, lies about dumb shit. He had kids. I called child services on his and I like fabricated everything and like said certain things, and they like went to the door and like there was a whole process.
The old scorned woman trope. And it always works because we all know that if a man cheats, then a woman can go as far as she wants to get revenge on him, and no one will judge her for it. She could even cut off his and stand-up comedians will go on for years to make jokes about it, and the audience will laugh and laugh and laugh. Good times indeed. So I looked it up, and apparently there's only 29 states that carry any type of penalty for making false reports about children being mistreated, which is f***ing bonkers to me. Especially because doing something like what Icky Vicky from Fairly Odd Parents, if she grew up to be an OnlyFans model here, did, it only makes it harder for real victims to get justice.
I don't even know if the children's aid worker still visits them, but she probably does, because what I said, like the way I AI'd that shit, you know, like real AI shit, like fake bruises type shit.
Be careful, fellas. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
So you fake bruises, you fake shit, and then you just made like exaggeration story, and then
on their on his kids. Yeah, then they came and they were like, "Oh, like we're seeing stuff that your kids are being abused. You know, you could lose your kids." And I was just like, "That sucks."
That sucks.
Yeah, should have been nicer to me.
Now let's go back for a second. If you remember, one of the first things she said was,
but to me it was really bad because I was like, I felt so bad about it.
And then she proceeds to laugh and giggle as she tells the rest of the story.
This one, I called child services on my ex.
Now, if you were deaf and blind, it could maybe have passed as a nervous laugh, but if you can see and hear, you can clearly see that it's schadenfreude.
Like, what the f are you telling me? Like,
for the uncultured, that's what it's called when you take pleasure in someone else's misfortune. But with this demon, it's even crazier because she's the cause of the misfortune that she's taking pleasure in, like a f***ing bitch. Now, if I was a psychologist, which I'm not, even though I've seen every single episode of Psych, but if I was a psychologist, I would say that she's f***ing nuts and a sociopath. And I don't mean sociopath like,
oh my God, you wore those shoes with that shirt? You're a sociopath.
I mean diagnosable narcissistic sociopath.
Like my heart sunk into my asshole.
Because this is a list of symptoms for narcissistic personality disorder. Someone only needs to have 5 of these for a diagnosis. And without seeing anything other than this video, she checks off at least 7 or 8 of them bitches. Now this is a list for the symptoms of antisocial personality disorder, aka sociopathy. And someone only needs to have 3 of these for a diagnosis. The first one is breaking the law. And what she did is a crime in a lot of places, so I say yes, check. There's also a part of the interview where she admits to stealing $50K worth of bags and vandalizing dudes' houses and all this, so check. Being deceitful for fun or for personal gain. She's literally laughing about lying, so check. Behaving impulsively. I say this is impulsive behavior. Check. Acting aggressively. She imposed her will on an entire family, so I say yes. Check. Disregarding safety. Again, I say yeah because putting someone's children in the system shows a disregard for the safety of all parties involved. Check. Ignoring responsibility. She's taking responsibility, but it seems like she's taking pride in it, so I would say that that goes back to narcissism, so maybe not this one. Having little or no remorse for hurting another person. She literally said this.
Yeah, should have been nicer to me.
So I'm gonna say that's a yes. Check. In conclusion, if you needed a reason not to engage with the Instagrammus thatianus when you're in the wild, look no further than this pile of shit right here.
I'm like so sweet. I'm amazing. I do everything I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Do you think she's right? Do you think she's wrong? And finally, do IG models look more and more like drag queens every day? Find out next week on F*** You.